praying or crying or something is going on with her. She's like,
Oh god.
this.
Yeah.
Go check out what the noise
You go
is."
get it. No, you. It finally came down to use the bat, and he was like, wait a second.
This is not-
I don't know if I want to use the bat.
Creepy guy sees something creepier inside your window and walks away from it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Culture X Culture. We are in our second season, and in this season, we are going to be sharing different stories from different cultures, but not just any story. We are going to be sharing scary stories, whether it's ghost stories or just personal scary story from your ex. Anyways, this is my friend and ex-roommate, Desiree.
What's up?
What's cracking? You used to freak out all the time when we
Yeah.
were living together. She would always freak out about the
Everything.
doors being locked.
Yep.
And
I was scared of intruders. Honestly, I was a little scared coming to do this right now because your brother mentioned that he wanted to scare me. So I was like, is this a setup? But
Did you think that?
I really did. I was like, he's gonna hide.
you came in prepared like
Yeah, because I was like, they're gonna try to catch me be scared. Because I get to the point where I cry when I get scared. So I was a little nervous, but I know the surroundings.
Yeah, right. We're not gonna do that. Do you have a story for me tonight?
So I'm from a little town called Toledo, Ohio. I lived with my family at the time. I was in high school. When we moved, I have like these weird like feelings when I walk into a new place, like as an adult, when I'm looking for a new apartment or anything like that. I try to feel a vibe of the place. Like I try to is there ghosts in here basically? Because I can feel it, I feel like. This house never made me feel good, but it was my family. I didn't have any say. I was, 16 or something?
Right.
So anytime they would leave, I would go in my room, lock the door, because I didn't want to be out in the house when they weren't home. So I was too scared. There was one night, our rooms were kind of across from each other, my room and my parents' room. It was just a hall that separated us. And I was just sleeping, minding my own business, doing my sleepy thing.
Okay.
And
That's what people do.
that's what you do. And all of a sudden, I heard this loud bang. And as we discussed before, I'm afraid of intruders, okay?
Okay, so when you say loud bang, was it like a gunshot bang or like a...
In my sleep, it could have been a gunshot. It felt like just...
So it was that loud?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
intrusive.
Okay.
It was in my brain. And so
And you were sleeping at this point?
I was sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I don't know what to do. I'm just, I shot up and I crack my door open because, again, I do lock the door. My family gets mad at me because they're like, what if something happens? We can't
Right.
get in there. So I crack the door and I see my dad on the other side. He always had a bat underneath his bed in case of anything. You got to protect the family, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, so he had the bat in hand, and we're just whispering. We're just I'm like, go figure this out. What is this? And then he's like, no, you go figure it out. And I'm like, wait a second. I am the kid in this situation. I am terrified.
Hold on. First of all, I would like to address all the dads out there
Yeah.
who put their kids first, and that be their needs or checking to see what
Loud
that
noises.
noise is about.
I think, too, is that he had the bat underneath the bed for years. It was always there.
It was meant for the kids. It wasn't meant for the intruders.
Exactly, I think, because I'm like, it finally came down to use the bat, and he was like, wait a second.
This is not...
I don't know if I want to use the bat.
This.
Yeah.
Go check out what the
You
noise
go
is.
get it. No. We're going back and forth. Eventually, he's tiptoeing out there, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see what this is, too, because I am scaredy cat, but I do play with danger. So I'm tiptoeing
You're
behind
a little
him.
curious cat right
Yeah,
there.
so we're literally tiptoeing, classic doo-doom, 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 doo-doom. So, we don't see nothing, and we check all of the rooms, and at that point we had a laundry room. So it was a separate little room for a little laundry, and we look and we have this shelf. It's like it's in the wall. Like it's, you know, nothing, that shelf will not come down if you pull it and yank it. Everything we had on top of the shelf was on the floor. And we were like, what? How does that make sense? Like, unless there was someone in here that just took their hand and swiped it down, or in fact, we do have some sort of ghost.
Wait, so the shelf though, was it like down? Like, did it collapse?
Nope. The shelf was intact. It was
intact.
in place.
Just everything that was on the shelf.
Which we had a lot of heavy things on there. Like we had like storage bins. We had, you know.
And all of those.
It all fell down. Yeah. So
geez.
you know, that kind of confirmed my like feelings of there's something else energy in this house. You know, my family, they didn't think it, they're like, whatever, put it back up. And I'm like, nah, that ain't cool. I'm not cool with that.
Right. I mean, okay, so for me, I'm the kind of guy who would check things because I can't just let it go.
Yeah.
Because if there is something there, I'm not just going to go back to bed and have whatever this thing is do something while I'm asleep. I would have to find
The source.
Yes, and if not the source, I would have to come up with some sort of reason in my head why it happened, because if I can't, I'm going to keep looking for it, right? So if that was the case and that happened and, you know, things were on the ground, I would think, okay, was there a cat in here? You know, like maybe the cat, you know, cats like to go on top of things and stuff. So, you know, and maybe he went behind and ran across and everything fell down. But you guys didn't have a cat.
No.
Right? So
I think at the time we didn't even have dogs or anything. So like, yeah,
and I'm just assuming that everything was closed.
We always locked the windows because I was a scaredy cat. It was almost like OCD of like, okay, like I would check the door to make sure it was locked, check the windows, always have them locked. Because my dad was a prankster, so the window I had in my room, it was like eye level. So he would always just like walk and just like scare me when, you know, so I'd always have the window locked. And I also have a scary story with that too. So we had recently moved into the house and the windows in my room were, like I said, eye level. So like the window would come up to your waist.
Okay.
And up.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like that, but I was like, whatever. Didn't have blinds yet. So one day I came home from school, I think, or whatever, and my mom's like, we need to sit down and talk. And I'm like, okay. And so then she was like, are you sneaking out? And I'm like, what? No, that ain't me. I don't do that. I'm good at two shoes. I ain't doing none of that. And she's like, no, you're sneaking out. And she got mad at me. And I was like, no, I'm like, literally, what are you talking about? And I started walking to my room, like, because she was like, there's footprints outside of your window. And she was like,
wait, pause. So your mom found footprints.
Yeah. Oh, because it was snowing at the time, so you could see footprints leading up to my window. So let me make that clear. Yeah.
Leading up to your window.
Leading up to my window, as if I did sneak out somehow and came from the backyard to my window. Because I started panicking because she was just not letting it go, like not letting me say no for an answer. And I knew for a fact, no, I'm not sneaking out. I'm not sneaking back in. Like, it's too much work, to be honest.
Right. It is kind of hard, especially when when you're a teenager. You kind of expect, these are the years where kids start, doing stuff. Nothing crazy necessarily, but, little things like that. Like, you'll break or bend the rules every now and then. But the fact that for a fact that you yourself didn't isn't even, because for your mom it was probably like, well, she's lying. But for you it's like that this is scary now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is real life. What are you talking about? So she's like, let's go look at them. And so I saw the footprints, went from the backyard behind us over the fence to my window. Oh. And I was like, because, like I said, he liked to scare me in the window. So I'm like, so from that point on, I'm terrified of windows, like someone just standing there, like big windows, where someone's just like gonna stand there and be looking at you, and you're not expecting it. And
there's something to say about that too. Imagine yourself being out, right? If you were, let's say, on your yard or in front of your house or at the sidewalk somewhere, someone standing and looking at your general direction, right? And that it's like, okay. He's just looking this way, I guess, or just looking around in general, right? Yeah. Now, you take that same exact look and you put a window in between both of you, and it's an immediate, like, Okay, no, because this
You're
is
in
now
my
a personal.
privacy,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is a personal space
Yeah.
that you're looking into now.
And that was when we freshly moved in, so I was like...
Exactly. So you don't know the neighborhood yet.
Needless to say, I saw the footprints. I'm like, no, let's go to Home Depot, let's get blinds right now. And I think after my mom realized that how adamant I was about getting blinds, she was like, okay, she didn't do it. So, yeah,
Right.
that was scary.
Ugh.
So, yeah. And then just little odds and end things would happen. That's why I knew something wasn't right in that house. I couldn't wait to move out because at one point it was like 3 a.m., the freaking ghost hour.
Right.
I had like those classic boom box, and I had a futon at the time. And, I thought I was really cool with the futon, so I'm like, you know what? It's been flat all this time. Let me make it a couch, I'm going to sleep on a couch tonight because I am a teenager and I am cool. It was the same night, and I was sleeping on my couch, and all of a sudden my radio at full volume blasted on, like just a radio station.
Just came up, like it just turned
came
on by itself.
Yeah, no, there's no timer on it. It's like real old. It's like not.
Right. And back then also it's not like a touch thing. You know what I mean? Like not a sensor thing. This was more of like if you wanted to turn it on, like you really
had to hit the button.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not just like a tiny little. You really had to.
Yeah.
Put some effort into it.
And to dial the volume all the way up because I liked loud music, but when I lived with my family, they're like, you're not gonna have loud music like that all the time.
Right.
So yeah, and then along with that, it scared me so bad that I jumped out of my sleep, and then the futon, like the mattress went whoop and like basically spit me out like a hot dog, like whatever. So I'm like, while this is happening, I'm being thrown from my couch.
Okay, so that's crazy. When you put electronics in play, things that are not supposed to happen.
Right.
Will just happen. Scary movies will always have like radios turning on, especially like if it's like a demon.
Yeah.
It's always like these things will turn on, radios will turn on, the dial will go like up and down, up and down, up and down. That's actual ghost stuff.
Yeah.
Because of the radio thing, it's literally like tying up there. I'm not big on ghosts. I like to see it to believe it. I'm that type of person. But sometimes, man, there's things that you gotta question, like what happened.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I am. It's like I like to know what actually happened, but there are things where it's just like you don't have an explanation. But I'm not the type of guy who go, nah, that was a ghost, but that doesn't mean I didn't feel like it wasn't a ghost. Yeah. That's usually where I'm at, and that is freaky. Oh my goodness.
So yeah.
So
I know that the owner he did die in the house, and I know that's like
what if there was two separate things? Imagine if there was actually a creepy guy that went up to your window. Now, here's the twist in the story. Creepy guy sees something creepier inside your window and walks away from it. He says, hell no.
Nah, I ain't gonna mess with that. Oh, God. I'm glad I'm not there anymore. Jeez.
Okay, so I have a story for you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see which one I should share. I have quite a few.
Yep.
A lot of my stories are actually not mine. They were shared to me. And some of the stories I was actually in it, but I didn't experience the same experience that people experienced. Either I was asleep or I was just oblivious, because most of the time I am oblivious. I'm in my own world, own space. But okay, I'm going to share this one. What makes it scary is because there was a lot of people involved in it.
Okay.
Sometimes people tell you stories and you're like, did you really experience that, or were you just high?
Yeah.
So there, because you can hallucinate, right? You can hallucinate, and you can see things that you actually weren't there, but you were seeing it, right? When there's more than one person involved, it kind of gives that stamp of approval, like it actually happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you the story. This story circulated in the whole college university circuit around the area. So this is in the Philippines. I was in a nursing program, Filipino nursing. Okay, so there's a big school there called Cebu Doctors University. They had a hospital that had multiple floors. It's like a building, whereas our hospital was like 2-3 floors only or something like that. So anyways, this story circulated and it reached our school. So this is the story. There's this woman right? She was visiting a friend that was in the hospital. She was leaving. So she goes to the elevator. Elevator opens, it's empty. She goes in, closes, starts going down. A few floors down, elevator door opens, and then a person that looked like someone who works there goes in, right? She looked like a nurse. Goes in there. Door closes. Goes down a few more floors. Door opens, and then a little kid goes in, right? And then door closes. Now, this little kid, she looked like a patient. She was wearing
the gowns.
Gowns,
Yeah.
right? The moment the door closed, like maybe like 2-3 seconds later, she hears the other girl, the one that looked like a student, make a weird noise. She was like praying or crying or something is going on with her. She's like,
Oh god.
she's making that noise.
Yeah.
Right? And at this point, okay, so she's on the right side, there's a kid in the middle, and this girl is on the corner over there on the left side. And she's like, what is going on? She looked at her, and she is like, just, her face, her facial expression was like so weird. She was so pale and just so weird, and she's making this weird noise. Almost like someone who you would think was getting possessed or something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Sounds demonic.
Right? And just that sound alone, it's freaking creepy. But people were very specific when they told me this story. That was the sound that she was making. A few floors down, right? And the door opens, and this lady was still going in and out of that. And then it would like go silent. And then a few floors down, the door opens. The lady that was making that noise goes out, right? The door closes, sigh of relief, right?
Yeah.
She was like, what was that?
Yeah.
Right? And she was like, oh my God, what was that? And then she like looked at the kid, and the kid looked at her like, kind of like, she didn't say anything. The kid didn't say anything, but she was kind of like, that was weird, you know? But she didn't know the kid, so she didn't say anything. A few floors go down, door opens, the kid also leaves the elevator. Elevator closes. Goes all the way down to the ground floor. She gets down to the lobby, and she makes a phone call to her friend to tell her about this crazy thing that was happening. She's on the phone. Oh my God, this crazy thing happened. This girl was making this weird noise. A few moments later, that crazy girl storms out of the stairway, right? The door opens the door. She took the stairs down. She's screaming, oh my God! Ah! She's screaming all weird and hysterical. Everybody rushes to her, and people just was like wondering what was going on. There was like a crowd, so she approaches it, and she asks the first person at the back of the crowd, what's going on? And you know, he's like, I don't know. She's being all weird. She's crazy. And eventually, that lady saw her and recognized that they were the same people that shared that elevator ride together. And so she said, you were in the elevator ride with me. She goes, yeah, you were being weird. Are you okay? She goes, did you see that child? And she goes, yeah, there was a child there. She goes, okay, that child had a hospital gown, and she had a wristband, a tag. She said that color of her tag, that means she's dead.
What? That took a turn.
So, I don't know if you've seen this in movies, but it's a dead body. They actually tag it so that you know.
Yeah.
that kid that was walking around had a tag. So then what they did is they searched the hospital for this kid,
Yeah.
and they couldn't find a kid
Did they check security
with
cameras?
with a tag. That part I don't know, because this is a time, I think, where
Before.
all of that was big, and also this happened in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So like now there's definitely a lot more cameras over there, but at that time I don't
Ooh.
think there were.
Yeah.
And so when the lady told her, she realized the whole weird noise she was making, it was her trying to hold in her cry, because she was so scared of seeing this child with that tag, and her being a nurse, or like a studying nurse, she knew what that meant.
Oh my god.
And
yikes.
so that's what's crazy about this, is because 2 people
Yeah.
experienced that, and on top of that, more people experienced the outburst in the lobby.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were able to confirm that it really did happen, like the lobby
Wow.
outburst, and obviously the 2 people, they confirmed about like being in that hospital, and that whole news got to our school, because that didn't happen in our school. So that's how big it got, because it just
Wow.
traveled around.
That's intense. Yeah.
Are you scared?
Yeah. God. Friggin' dead kid. Those are the worst stories, when it involves a dead kid, because like it's really spooky. Something crazy about children, because they are innocent. They don't know.
Yeah. And you don't know, because it could be that, how, like ghosts, when they become what is it, like demonic, or they become aggressive, they say that
They need closure.
they need closure. But when they do need closure, it's like you as a person thinking this is an innocent child and it's a ghost, but you don't know if this is a ghost that is actually going to be aggressive. Whether it's aggressive or not, it's like the fact that it is what it is. There's something scary about that. There's something very scary about innocence being put into play when it comes to paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's scary. It was crazy. I got scared just telling you that story.
I mean, I got goosebumps all through it. Yeah, because hospital ones are really scary, because like, there's a lot of death and a lot of crazy stuff happening.
Right.
So I
Right.
feel like there could just be spirits just amongst us all the time in hospitals.
Well, thank you for coming, and
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
me.
sharing your story, and I'm happy
Hope you
that
enjoyed it.
Yep, I did. If you guys have a window there that have some crazy random footprints that just walk in and out of it, let us know. Let us
Yep.
know about your story, and tell us what you think actually happened, and leave us a like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Lock
Thank
your
you,
doors.
guys.
Yeah.
Lock your doors, and call the cops.
Yeah.
Just make a weird noise,
Yeah.
and someone will come, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, we'll see you in the
Yikes.
next episode. Thank you guys so much. Peace.
Bye.